announce that the Justice Department has secured felony guilty pleas from the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance.
Actually, it's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Largest virtual.
Binance.
Binance. And let me be clear. It's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Council has discussed crypto regulations and legislations at length, and we have come to the conclusion that instead of regulating, we are going to ape a fat bag each into laptop and pump it to over $1,300,000,000,000,000,000,000,000 market cap. Let's fucking go, crackheads.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I got my coffee locked and loaded, ready to go, because we have to talk about the rate cut that is coming in this week and why this is a decisive week, because I found something that could be interesting to keep in the back of our heads while this is approaching and how this is going to influence the crypto cycle. At the same time, we do have the biggest altcoin season indicator or chart breaking out, and this week is actually starting off already in the green. So that is also why I have a mega cappuccino locked and loaded, ready to go, because obviously that is something that looks really nice. And we will talk about some of our favorite altcoins, Ecomi and MK, today in the altcoin spotlight. We will talk a little bit about them as well. So let's make sure to stay all the way through and let's get started. So, good morning to each and every one of you. Here we are on the Bitcoin chart, and if we are dropped in the daily, we see that we had our regular weekend manipulation where we drop into the weekend, liquidating some longs, and then we are going, right? We did see it once again, and as we can see here, we are already engulfing this weekend with a very big green move in these short hours, so to say. I mean, it's not that insane, but it's still almost 1.5% in only 6 hours. So that is pretty good. So overall, we are continuing our bounce from the bull market band. We broke back in the range as expected. You guys remember we were observing this inverse head and shoulders pattern to the breakout. Here it is. Now we are in this range, and there's theoretically and technically a smaller resistance here, but no reason why we shouldn't go back and revisit 124,000 very soon. We do have some data coming up here, retail sales tomorrow, and then it's already time, right? There is tomorrow, and then there is the rate cut, and that's basically it. So what about the rate cut? I saw this today, and I was wondering, hey, do rate cuts even influence, right? Do they even do anything, right? Because we do have bear markets and bull markets with zero rate, and we do have insane bull markets on rate hiking, and then we do see, obviously, when we were pretty high on the rates, that we do have our bear market trough here, and then we do have rate cuts, and then another bull run, right? So does it really matter? And I think it's not not about whether you are cutting or hiking necessarily, right? But I think it's rather to which range you are going, right? So what percentage you are achieving for example, all these bounces here, they didn't do that much because capital was still flowing in. But when it reached its plateau, then we dropped in this massive bear market there in 2018, so to say, right? And right now we are in the cutting again, but still, if you look, the rate that we are plateauing on is still way higher than when we were in this absolute bear market, a grim bear market here. So that means you can't really say that just because you cut, there is instant green candle, right? So, sorry for that. Coffee, anyone? There we go. But what you can say is that if the rate is lower, and this is the main reason why I believe that more capital is going to flow in, so we will see another blip to the downside here. There are two reasons why rates are being cut. One is a catastrophe is coming in, be it by outside factors or man-made, right? Doesn't matter. But a catastrophe is coming in, and the cut happens to unleash the financial market to revert this before it turns into something way more crazy on the financial markets, right? Such as happened in the C crisis here, right? The markets were dropping again, free fall, and then boom, here are the rate cuts. Instant cut to the downside in the matter of 2 months, basically. And then the money printer turned on massively at the same time. Or you can rate cut into an environment where there's no immediate panic. But here, for example, in this one, we had basically the rate hike stop because of an immediate panic, right? Somewhere here. You remember there were some banks going down at that time, right? So, and then we started the cutting, but I mean, we are still way higher than we were here. So all of this hike is still better from an interest rate perspective than everything that we've seen in the cut here so far. We are way higher than that, right? So I think it's more about the level where you are and not so much about the hiking or the cutting in itself. It's about the level that you're dropping to. And the question it's questionable how fast we will drop now, if we will do a real stare, but it could, the next cuts could unleash a lot of financial power from the markets. I've made a video about this on the weekend. If you didn't watch it yet, you can watch it. Basically, it's the explanation for how the seasons happen and so on. So yeah, let's look at the chat quickly. We have Chris Klein here. Hello, sir. Glad I get to catch the show again tonight, this morning. Glad I get to catch the intro. It's great. Thank you very much. I'm not touching that intro, at least for the bull run, not, and then we'll see. GM, also Patrick Bultman. Björn is here. GM, happy Monday. Chris Klein says, love the mug. Yeah, this mug is from last bull run still. Binance, it makes me laugh. Yeah, Janet is now eternalized in our intro. So we will see, because in 2 days we will get this red stare here, and then we will see how the markets behave. But it seems, so because we already know that it's going to happen with an extreme high likelihood, let me refresh this to have the accurate percentages. Here you see it 2 days, 12 hours. So yeah, 96% for a 25 basis point rate cut. More than 96%. So the market knows already what's going on, right? So, and because the market knows what's going on, the market is already pricing it in. And the good news is that it's pricing it in, for example, in gold. Hey Stu. The market is pricing it already in gold, since it's since it's known, I would say. We do see the big breakout here. We are waiting for Bitcoin, the pink line, to catch up, right? Now that makes us bullish, but it's also coming. It seems it's coming in here on this TOTAL2 breakout, right? Because we do see that the crypto market is basically getting inflows in outside Bitcoin terms, so to say. So people are taking position there, investors are taking position, first ETFs are flowing, and so on. The ETFs flows into altcoins, whatever, right? So we do see this breakout here on the TOTAL2. I do think we did see it also on the TOTAL3. Yes, no, actually not, because we do see the candle here from today, but we did not close the week outside, whereas on the TOTAL2 we did close the week outside. So here we still can get a red, just a wick and the red to the downside, right? So TOTAL3 technically did not break out, got sold off, but TOTAL2, you see the weekly candle is decisive above that overhead resistance. And I think that is very important that we see the TOTAL2 breaking out of this. And then we should get another trillion dropped into this crypto market on top. And that obviously will make coins fly really hard, in my opinion. So if you like that, then smash up the like button here. Also helps this channel massively to grow. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, notifications on. Good to see you also, Divine the Sing. Wes, what's up? Omi. We will talk about Ecomi 1 second here, but so what do we see? We see positive flows, right? We do have a new all-time high on the spot ETF total cumulative flows. We do have another billion minted at the US Tether Treasury. We do have El Salvador adding 28 Bitcoin in 1 week, more than usually. Also them building a stair, right? I'm doing a little bit of a rundown because I don't think we need to discuss much about this, right? Michael Saylor is very likely going to buy more Bitcoin, as he said just a day or yesterday. Bitcoin deserves credit, and posts his chart. And this all right now, this behavior makes this one of the most, very likely the most bullish September that we had in a while. Okay. So usually September is a down month. We don't see it right now. We don't know what happens next. Maybe there's a little bit more correction or so coming on. Like, for example, back and forth here on this. Can this please? Yeah, there we go. Can this please disappear, man? There we go. So yeah, we could go back to this level and stay at this level and wiggle around, and then it would make it just a regular September. Or we anticipate already what's coming in October, especially on this rate cut. And we make it the best September that we ever had, little bit front running what's coming next. But no matter how, I do think that first of all, the top is not in, the cycle is not over. We just have the breakout on the altcoin metrics here, TOTAL2. We are looking for a breakout on TOTAL3 and so on. So I think we will see the cycle unfold as it should over the next couple of weeks and 2 to 3 months to come. So, and then we go into October with all of this bullish momentum happening, and October is traditionally and on average in the monthly returns a bullish one for Bitcoin, 20% on average. And 20% from where we are right now would bring Bitcoin about to 130 something thousand if we were to do it from here. Of course, we do see last year we had 10%. The year before, 28% was when we were coming out of the bear market. In the bear market year, we had only 5%, but still green on October. In 21, we ended the cycle with a 40% move on Bitcoin in October, followed by then what was the correction? So I would think that we will, if we're looking at that October is very, very likely the month where we will lock in some profits, right? Of course, average returns on November are also pretty high, but we do see several Novembers were already correction years, right? Several Novembers already red. Here we see it as well. Let's see. Chris says, I think I can really feel an altcoin season coming soon. This time for sure. There have been a lot of altcoin seasons this run so far, but the big bad boy is coming right around the corner. I think with this breakout of the cup and handle, this should be it. Ideally, we do see a retest on the structure, which would bring altcoins in the red once more in September, right? If we come back and backtest on top of this and then fire, it would be very nice. Is it necessary? Not really, but it would be nice to see. No matter what, I do think that this is going to be big. So let's check out what's going on with the altcoins. On the week, we do see Avalanche, despite this mixed finance. We do see Mantle and Pump, Saros, IMX on 28%, almost 29% on the week. We do see AVAX 22%. We do see some memes like Pepe, Memecore, Doge, Bonk, and so on. Pango doing really nice. We do see other coins just lurking around on the week with 5 to 10%, like VeChain and the Graph. We do see Floki 10%, ETH 8.5%. We do see Radium 7% on Solana. We do see Solana with 17.8%, pretty good, but was not enough. Protagonist says UAE launched 100 million IOTA fund and plugged it into their SEPA trade agenda. Japan's R&D agency uses IOTA for infrastructure. Kenya digitized export docs with IOTA. Customs go from weeks to minutes. That sounds really good for IOTA. How is it? Or IOTA. How is it doing? A0 recovery. I remember you were asking about A0 the other day. PLI plugin for XCC Oracle for RWA. RWA, big fat thing coming. IOTA is place 105. That's why we didn't see it up there, and it is sitting at. Oh, there it is. It's sitting at 788 million, up 5.9% on the week, little down on the day, 53% in the year. Not that crazy yet, but I do think that all these coins, that looks already like if you that looks like something that wants to break out, right? I mean, we do know IOTA has exactly that, right? Wiggling around, bam, one fat run. Once this run comes, that's your take profit, right? So here it's a little bit clearer, I think. On the you could argue it kind of broke out, but what's more intriguing here is really this this kind of accumulation zone where you then want to fire up, right, on IOTA. We do have a quick look at Mcade and what's going on Mcade, because I did put it in a spotlight today for us to keep track on what's going on with this coin. Nothing, to be honest, still in this in my opinion, big accumulation range where accumulation is happening. I do expect that this coin at some point breaks out massively. We do have a little bit of a uptick, so to say. We are at 21.21 million. What a nice number. At a price point of 0.1234. Can it be better? Now it's 1243. Anyways. Yeah. So that is going on also for MCAD. Let's quickly check out, because I wanted to check this anyways, on Twitter, on X, Metacade, what the latest is on that. I didn't come to check it out before. Let's see. The journey begins to base camp. Stronger together, MCAD and Metacade Max. The flywheel is only just starting to spin. Burns, buybacks, rewards incoming. This is not the time to be sidelined. Okay. Yeah. Doing drop zone, doing Metacade milestones. Officially crossed 1 million in liquidity on the wrapped ETH MCAD pool. And for liquidity providers, currently 315% APR. That's crazy. Yeah, so far so good. So I do think this is still a coin to consider for the bull run. But then we, in a second, we are going to also look at Ecomi. But let's see first the chat again. Chris Klein says, I really need to renew my membership as AIP. I can't though at the moment, and I feel bad. I just moved in with my fiance's dad and think things are rough. Just wish I could use the Floki emoji I suggested. Those are the trade-offs in life, man. But don't worry, it's not the problem. You do whenever you can, right? Right now, many other things are important, so don't sweat it. Don't. Yo, what is going on? Mewtwo, good morning, fam. And Midas Touch Green, they have launched a new token called MCAD Max. Yeah, but what does it do, right? We did see, there it is, MCAD Max. Do I want to click this link though? Is it for the NFTs? Max is live on Zora. Launch your creator coin. This is not just another creator coin. It's the birth of a whole new category. Expansion, not distraction. All roads lead back to MCAD. I quite honestly have no clue what. Let's do the following. I just quickly have to reset here stuff. Here we go. So we ask AI about it. It's easier. What is MCAD Max on Metacade? There we go. I couldn't find anything definite about MCAD Max specifically. It may be a typo, a new term, or something niche. Okay, so he can explain MCAD. That is not helpful. That is not helpful, AI. MCAD Max is not a speculation. Let me try to enhance this by giving it the post. MCAD Max. Actually, here maybe we do see here, but it seems like it's what the heck is this? Do we just got my 12th FAC3PO last night? Nice. Yeah, it's on Zora. But what does it do? Like, why is it necessary in the MCAD system? You've seen tokens quietly appear before, but rarely inside an ecosystem that already knows how to deliver. Now MCAD Max has launched on Zora. Nobody knows exactly what it means yet, and that's the beauty of it. Could it signal buybacks flowing to MCAD holders? Could it unlock new ways for value to circulate across ecosystem, or could it be the start of something even larger? Metacade's design has always been clear: build momentum, create lasting value, and then raise the bar higher than expected. So the real question is, if MCAD laid a foundation, what role will Okay, so no one fucking knows what MCAD Max really does. So I guess we will find out, right? That's why AI doesn't know what it is, because like no one knows what it is. What's this video? Does video show any hints? I mean, it seems that it has to anything, like it seems that it's more in this NFT realm-ish. That's what it looks like from stuff like videos like this. I mean, this also like bull run meme to go to another planet. Max on Zora. Yeah, okay. I mean, we will probably find out, right? We will probably find out what it is. Yeah, anyways, we do jump to another topic, and that is OMI. And we are starting with this post here, OMI Vivi, right? As one topic. Once a collector, always a collector. The NFT bubble wasn't the end, it was the reset. In a recent article written by David Yu, CEO of Vivi Official, digital collecting is shifting from hype to fandom authenticity. VR, AR, VR, and blockchain are powering the next era. Immersive experiences, global access, provable rarity, and sustainable design, hybrid phygital drops bridge old-school collectors in with Web3 natives. The result, a market already worth 11 billion, projected to surpass 48 billion by 2033. The future of collecting isn't flipping JPEGs, it's building meaningful, eco-friendly, and story-driven connections between fans and the world that they love. Read the full article in the comments. So we do see here, post-NFT bubble recovery will be driven by actual fandom, not hype. Is David Yu himself wrote this. In digital spaces, fans can connect and so on, blah, blah. Here's the article, okay? So it's linked here. I would say the post-NFT bubble recovery will be driven by speculation and hype. Again, it's like, the reason for that is, and I don't want to disagree like super hard here with David, because in the end, I mean, obviously, no one, like, people are looking back to the first pictures and JPEGs and so on and think like, why the fuck did we buy this? But it's like with altcoins, right? After the first altcoin cycle, when altcoins imploded and went back 99% down, people were like, why did we even buy that? And 4 years later, a new altcoin run emerged where all these coins appeared that weren't even there, and people were speculating once again. So there is a nature of, there is a cyclicality, so to say, where people try to repeat, or in some shape or form things repeat, right? Such as bank crisis and investment bubbles and real estate problems, blah, 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 right? So all that repeats. So I do think that the moment that we see a recovery, that speculators will come back on board. And then we will see a refined explosion in that. But, of course, it's really nice to have this. So let's see. The speculative NFT bubble has popped, leaving behind a more meaningful foundation. Digital collectibles now focus less on financial hype and more on fandom. Now, yes, in 4 weeks, we don't know, right? Because the moment that money is flowing into certain groups of assets, there will be hype, and you want that hype, because usually like hype is like a handful of dirt, throw it against the wall, yeah, and then something sticks. It's like the hype brings you 100,000 people, 95,000 move away, you are stuck with 5,000 people, right? That really are genuinely interested. Like you need the hype, and then it sticks. It's like Pokemon, for example. Pokemon is hype, and then but in bad times, there's this fandom that sticks, right? So yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, smash the like button, as Maida says. Very important. People are definitely serious about collecting. That's true. I mean, we do see a lot of collect. I think it's all right. I always make the point here on this channel that a healthy market has everything, right? They have speculators, they have short-term investors, they have flippers, they have long-term investors, whales, and small actors, right? Every healthy market has them. Okay. Digital collectibles focus on that, on fandom, right? AR, VR, and blockchain expand what collectibles can be, creating immersive, eco-friendly alternatives. That is important, right? The trend is your friend until the end. The green trend is a mega trend of our lifetime, basically. It will not go away. So pointing out at every corner that you have eco-friendly NFTs is very, very important, right? Let's jump a little bit this introduction. Maybe this is important. For many fans outside major markets, geographical restrictions add insult to injury. As someone who grew up collecting in New Zealand, I knew, David, right, how hard it was to access the same collectible culture that seemed so normal in the US. Finding and affording physical collectibles was nearly impossible. Collecting has been part of human culture for millennia, and the global collectible market is expected to reach 512 billion this year. And yet, despite its longevity and value, the industry hasn't evolved in a way that solves these persistent problems of access, waste, shipping, and scalability. And quite frankly, these, even in the digital space, these limits still exist, right? Because for digital collecting, you need an end device. So you need a financial standard where people across countries can have the end device, and then also have the money to buy those, to participate in those collectibles. Plus, the app cannot be restricted in those countries. But if you are restricted by embargoes, you cannot even offer the app in certain countries, and so on, right? So that is definite. With the increasing pressure on companies and countries to be more climate conscious, there we have it, right? And ever-changing politics of global trade, physical collecting is beginning to show its cracks. By moving collectibles onto secure, transparent, and public ledgers, we can make rare, meaningful fan items accessible to anyone, anywhere, with full authenticity and zero waste. That is very true. And if we see anyone, anywhere, full authenticity and so on, we think back to Vivi as it is right now, and we do think, okay, let's just say they are successful in onboarding everyone, everywhere, and so on. Then some of these things that we see on the app are extremely scarce, right? Think about the Grogu. Think about comics where you only have 40 editions or so, right? The next evolution of NFTs. In 2017, we saw the official birth of NFTs. At the time, it seemed like this was a way to bring collecting online. But I believe NFTs created a kind of bubble, one which only those who understood the technology and its purpose could access. This bubble appeared parallel to cryptocurrency, where both were, for a time, viewed by their small group of investors as money-making schemes. I would be very cautious as David, because for them, this sounds like it's a negative thing, right? But for them, it was what made them also monetarily successful, right? So also, for the small group of app creators and token creators, it was a money-making scheme, right? In the sense, or a money-making, whatever, a money machine, a money printer. They have to thank everything to the crypto world, because most people found VV through crypto, the Ecomi token, and most money that they made was small groups of investors that saw a money-making option on the VV market. So that we need to be a little bit honest here, not criticizing David here too much, but on this, I have a split view, right, on statements like this. In 2025, that bubble has popped, and what's left is the foundation of something more meaningful. Just as cryptocurrencies have matured, NFTs are maturing too. We've seen the financial world evolve around blockchain through ETFs, stablecoins, and tokenized assets. Institutions now see crypto as a viable part of modern financial system. Digital collectibles are the cultural counterpart to financial evolution. They are the sustained advancement of what NFTs originally set out to do, to use blockchain to verify ownership and authenticity in a digital world. Yes, they are backed by blockchain. Yes, they exist in the digital realm, but unlike the speculative hype of early NFTs, digital collectibles are rooted in fandom, not finance. They are about making collecting smarter, more accessible, and better aligned with how people actually engage with their favorite characters, games, or stories. And this is very important. He has to place it this way. We have to see it a little bit different, because digital collectibles are rooted in fandom and finance, both. Such as physical collectibles also in the real world, right? Like, why is it so appealing for someone to open a Pokemon booster pack from back then? If it was only 1 cent, no one would care anymore, right? But since those things are like $1,000 or so, one pack, and you could technically pull a $50,000 card, well, that makes it more attractive, right? So having something scarce that actually has big fat value, and you want to have it in your collection, right? So scarcity is king, as always. They are about making collecting smarter, more accessible, and better aligned with people that actually engage with their favorite characters, games, and stories. The connection between collecting and blockchain is natural. Collecting is about rarity, status, and authenticity, exact traits that blockchain technology was purpose-built to verify and protect. Digital collectibles use that tech to expand collecting opportunities for fans who are already the same people who would buy a comic book or go to Hobbytown or the antique store looking for stamps. That's me. Like, I was always the guy that went to the antique store to find some. But again, why antique store, right? Because you want to find something rare, scarce, something maybe that you can buy at a certain value because only you know the big value, right? Yeah, exactly. That's not true. Finance is a huge part of my collecting. Yeah, exactly. For me too. Like, you want to find something that might be valuable, undervalued. Thanks to AR and VR, digital items can have more depth and creativity than physical factory manufacturing allows. Designs aren't limited by production costs or shipping constraints. Instead, artists and creators can build immersive, detailed pieces with features impossible to replicate physically. That's true. Like, you can resize, for example, right? Or you can build a space where you can put one collectible into the other and create a new one, right? The metaverse also offers something meaningful here. In digital space, fans can connect regardless of where they live. It's a new version of standing in line outside the comic store at 7 a.m. to get limited drop, except now anyone in the world can line up and the rarity is guaranteed on-chain. Physical collecting also comes with real-world costs, plastic packaging, emissions from global shipping, warehouse overproduction. Digital collecting avoids all of that. And maybe also to add reprints, right? Reprints, second print run, and so on, which they basically don't have. Digital collecting avoids all of that. And with modern blockchain moving toward carbon neutrality, digital merchandise becomes more sustainable ethical choice. Whoever cares about that, right? That is important to them, to many people, right? Meanwhile, tariffs, material shortage, and inflation are adding to the physical accessibility issue. In the US and elsewhere, fans and IPs alike are raising concerns about quality, affordability, and supply chain reliability. Digital solves for that. There's no waiting, no shipping fees, and no risk-bent corners or custom delays. This is how we future-proof collecting. Now, that said, there's also risk in that, and that is the physical degrading of objects made it so that some collectibles stand out in the real world. So the question is there any way to introduce decay in that? And I think with the burn mechanics, they have found that, right? So, of course, blockchain and crypto still have an aura of complexity. That's why digital collectibles can be a perfect on-ramp. When fans download an app that lets them buy official licensed collectibles or the comics they already love, and that just happens to use blockchain under the hood, they are stepping into this world organically. And this is exactly, I don't know why this is so difficult to understand, but this is exactly not how it works. People do not download the app and then they step into the Web3 space and into crypto. They are stepping into crypto and this world and NFTs and whatever, and then they are getting the app, right? This is how it works. I don't know what's so difficult to understand, but this is how it works. Like, check here in this chat, 30 people here. Has any one of you downloaded Vivi and then stepped into the world of crypto, or have you stepped into the world of crypto and then at some point found Vivi? Right? I would say 30 out of 30, the answer is you have stepped into crypto and then found Vivi, not the other way around. Yeah, I highly doubt that. And then, have you stepped into crypto because you are searching for like innovation, or have you stepped into crypto because it's way easier to make money in like multiples in crypto than anywhere else, right? So the reason is financial, not ideology or anything else. The reason is financial. People outside get wrecked by monetary debasement, so they are searching for something where they can actually get still to the standard of living in this world when you're young, without like getting to 250 years old on ETF or something like that, right? So people were looking for something, where can I make a 10x on my money, right? And that's in crypto. Yeah, crypto first, obviously. It's the same principle that made ETFs an accessible entry point into investing. Digital collectibles can do that for blockchain. No, it's not. Blockchain can do that for digital collectibles. This is the other way around. Yeah. So this is why I think this is the reason why they did not put Omi in the center of attention, because they don't want to understand, or they did not understand that that Ecomi is the gateway to Vivi, not the other way around. People will find Ecomi. Now that Ecomi pumped, people will look into, okay, Ecomi pumped, what's behind that? And then they will say, blockchain based, licensed collectible, crazy what they have, and so on. Let's make an account and buy 3 comics. That's the way the flow works. Because we see it, the adoption is like Bitcoin is the most adopted, then Ethereum, and so on. That's the chain, the value chain. Not, oh, I found Vivi, oh, let's discover Bitcoin, right? It's not how it works. Everyone is talking about Bitcoin. Millions are already being onboarded this way. No, actually not. Millions are onboarded the other way, yeah, and also there's only maximum potential of 667,000 that could have been onboarded this way, okay. By the way, hitting clean number here, 667,000 unique owners on that app, right? Okay, we are seeing a popular response from our community to phygital drops. That's true. Digital items paired with physical ones, and publishers moving into licensed digital comics and that retain the same rarity and fan value as their print counterparts. And this is so the article somewhere has a logic problem here, because we do basically argue physical has all these limits. That's why we go digital. But how do you then do the rationale on phygital, right? Why do you need a physical counterpart to your digital one when physical is not good, right? Or not the thing of the future. And I think for me, obviously, it's clear why, because you want something physical, but you also want to have the benefits of digital, right? Not always you only want, you somehow want to have physical memorabilia, right? So these are clear examples of blockchain that keep the soul of collecting intact. You still get that sense of ownership, of discovery, of being able to own something others might not have. But now it's easier, greener, and finally global. The digital collectibles market is forecast to grow from 11 billion to 48 billion. So, and this is very important, right? We do have total 11 billion. Of that, only, I don't know, a small fraction is, of course, a smaller but not too small fraction is then Vivi, right? Because we do see like Vivi is more than just a multi-dollar company. They are a multi-million-dollar company. And yeah, so people love collecting. They always have. Blockchain just gives us a better way to do it. If the market grows, and this is only the real collectible market with short-term money speculation, prices in, let's just say Vivi has 500 million, right? Maybe less inside. You add another billion, or you double this number here in the crypto market, it's going to be nuts, right? The inflows into Vivi are going to be nuts. But I think the keystone to for Vivi to have massive prices going up and so on is really putting Ecomi front and center ready to run in this bull run. And then we will see the user numbers tick up, and then we will see so much more action on this aftermarket that is already pretty good. I mean, look at these, I always show like how many collectibles are being bought and sold over in an hour, right? I mean, here scrolling down, here is like passing half an hour. This all happened in the past hour, what we are seeing here, right? All of that happened in the past hour. These are, I don't know, hundreds of collectibles that are being traded in an hour, and that's just the beginning. I mean, this is going to be completely nuts the moment that new people and especially new whales are coming into the market. But with that, thank you guys for the input. Let me quickly see here in the chat. Making trades and collecting is a big part of upgrading your collection. You can't just exclude finance. Exactly. You also need to somehow grow Like you need something of monetary value to liquidate, to buy something else, and maybe even in the trade-offs do well to grow your collection, as you say. But anyways, guys, make sure to smash up the like button, subscribe to the channel, notifications on, very important. Let me know in the comments below also what you think about all of this, and wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. I catch you in the next live stream video. Bye.